may still be in that harem.
We'll go after her first thing in the morning. If she's there, we'll get her out.
Xena, this is not just a rescue mission.
What do you mean?
I want vengeance!
Because I couldn't direct Gurkhan, Michael was the best choice. And once I saw the episode, he was actually even a better choice.
Oh.
So,
you can't say that. You don't know. You could have done something completely, you know.
That's an episode because it was RJ, it was a story that I kind of came to RJ with, and then I think we wrote it, the story together, and he wrote the script. And once again, Michael elevated, I thought, all through that kind of Gabrielle and all the characters' motivations and kept them, raised them a level, so it didn't feel quite so slimy. It was an episode that could have come off where each person's kind of outdoing themselves, and how low can you go in order to accomplish killing somebody.
Yeah.
There was an interesting little episode called Who's Gurkhan that was directed by Michael Hurst that I think has some fairly provocative scenes in it. Although when the script first came to me, I said, who's Gurkhan? But that's beside the point, just because I can't read. But the sequence that I'm talking about in this particular instance is there was a sequence of images, a sequence of action shot by Michael.
Nobody misbehaves in Gurkhan's harem.
On the day that we were doing the stunts for that, it was like you forget the power of the medium, because we had, I think Zoe, I can't remember, but Lucy's stunt woman, and I thought, oh, I know, let's hang her upside down by her ankles and have two guys beat the crap out of her with some billy clubs, you know, that'll be cool. So, you know, we do this, and then I went, oh, okay, I'll tell you what, we'll have blood dripping out of her hair so it drips onto the floor, then we'll push her so it makes this line of blood slowly on the floor and all this, you know. Think, yeah, that looks cool. And then these guys would do it, you know, and she'd, you know, react, and it all looks, and on the day, we just go, wow, that's cool, and really, you know. And then you look at the dailies, and they're so hideously violent that even I was going, we can't really put this in the picture, you know what I mean? It was, you just forget.
We had to be careful in the editing of that.
Yeah.
The scene of Xena hanging upside down, because I know Lucy was hung upside down for a portion of it, and hurt her back.
She did.
Anyways, but all of that was, and she had the horrible eye patch that she...
Swollen eye, and we had that...
Oh. She mailed that off to Cameron McLean, who had been the camera operator for many years, who was easily grossed out, and he was off being camera operator on Lord of the Rings, and just received a little box and opened it up, and here was this eye prosthetic with hair and all.
Funny.
Now, I had done an initial cut of the sequence where I kept a lot of the brutality in the scene. And when Rob Tappert saw it, he felt that it was perhaps far too brutal. This coming from a man who had Xena hit by a tree in Destiny, but that's beside the point. The feeling was that the brutal beatings that Xena was taking were too harsh and too severe for what we wanted to show in the episode. So the note came back to me to find a way to temper it. And the way we did that was, rather than letting the sequence play out as a straight, hard, beating, brutal torture sequence, we started overlapping images. We started dissolving one image into the next. We brought in moons that would come through the shot. We would, you know, let these images play through each other. And what we were able to do by that is accomplish two things. First of all, it made the brutals themselves less intense because we weren't seeing them as directly, and yet in an obverse psychological way, they actually became more intense psychologically, but less intense visually.
I loved working with Michael Hurst, both as an actor, but absolutely as a director. He's great because he knows the verbiage to use, the just ways to get to you that someone who is an actor has access to that maybe other directors don't. There's just a way to explain things that really can kind of give you more depth and multiple layers. That episode has both my favorite scene I've ever done with Lucy.
She doesn't have what it takes to kill in cold blood. Do you think I inherited that talent from you, Mother? You certainly had a gift. Yeah, you did.
My favorite scene I've ever done with Renee. There was a scene cut out with Greg that I thought was great for both of us. It just was so emotionally honest. I loved that episode. It didn't seem to push anything too far. It was great fun. I mean, being on that ship in this beautiful ocean, my God, what an adventure. It was incredible. But equally, I mean, Michael has such a great sense of humor, but he also just has such a love of acting that he knows what he wants, and he pushes you to do even better, and he wants it to be honest and real and meaningful, and I really think it comes across.
The name Superlius. And I have a choice specimen. I'd like to know how much I can get for her.
A technical director might ask you to do something, try it again, but different. To where Michael would sit there and he was so specific on what he wanted. You know, keep in the back of your mind that this is going on, this is happening. Remember, she killed your father. Remember this, you know, and just a chain of events. And he just really knew how to speak the actor's language. I mean, he is not only a wonderful director, but he's such a talented actor as well that, you know, sometimes you don't even see a director. You just see Michael Hurst, this brilliant actor. And I was always sort of like, God, I want to be working with this guy. I just want to see what it's like to do an episode with him. And so I got the chance off the directing end, but not acting with him.
Gabrielle coming to Xena in the cell was always scripted, and I think you added that she kind of came dancing.
Sashaying.
Oh, yeah, dancing. She kind of has a dance move a little bit as she came in.
She has something. I know that. I think it was important. It seemed to be in the script really important that while Xena was having all that happen to her, she needed something to hold on to, the light of Gabrielle and all of that. And I find that a very strong emotional, you know, thread. And I believe there was even some other. I think in the original script, she was hanging on to something that was said earlier about riding along. And I think what was written was some image of them both galloping along on horses. Do you remember?
I think there was.
And we kind of, it just all got a little too difficult in time and everything. And
He'll be a tough man to kill, Gabrielle. And if he should capture you, pray that the end is quick.
If you're trying to scare me, Eve.
My favorite scene with Renee, that was at the very beginning of Who's Gurkhan, when I tell her that going for revenge is not necessarily going to fix anything or make her feel better, that I know from personal experience. And I love it because, again, it's not condescending, but I think it's just beautiful because it's who Eve really is at that moment, truly trying to reach out and share her experience. And of course, Renee is not in the position at that point, or I should say Gabrielle is not in the place where she can accept that. But it's just, I thought it was beautifully done, just so beautifully shot, where she's preparing to fight, but just surrounded by this beautiful, calm sea. And I just thought it was lovely.
I hate you.
Actually, the reason we cut out all of Gabrielle, I think the thought is this is an episode where Xena and Gabrielle aren't going to raise a... We didn't want Gabrielle to do anything bad so that when punch anybody, hurt anybody, so that when she got to the final place in the room with the guy and couldn't do it, it had more power there.
That's right, because remember that at the end of the thing, there's that moment where she's really there, ready to get the bloodlust. Interesting, huh? Yeah, and then she does that. Yeah, does the screaming, and we went to town on that. I remember you don't often get a chance to do that, to let it out. Like you spend most of your TV time playing it internally because that's just the style, and you know. But sometimes you get an opportunity to just go, and that was a good.
Go.
It was good to be able to tell Gabrielle to do that, and of course she and Lucy will go. I mean, if you say go there, they'll go there. You know, if they agree, you know, it's great.
Gurkhan!